What's up, you guys?
What's up, you guys? Slim here with a new video today, and I'm here to bring you guys my YCS Pasadena deck profile. I am on a basically 18-point rut where for some reason I can't do better than 6 wins and like 3 losses or draws or whatever. I don't know what it is. It's really weird to me. I took some weird losses at the YCS. It's happened at Nationals, happened at other events. And I don't know. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I know 19 points gets me to day 2. I will always want to do better than 19 points because in reality, even with 19 points, you're never guaranteed to top even if you win out all your matches. So I keep pushing forward. I'll be honest. I was bad. I didn't prepare for this event at all. Like I barely practiced. And it's my own fault. I'm in school for a lot of you who don't know. I've been focusing on school, and I haven't been playing as much Yu-Gi-Oh! As I should be, but I'm going to try to find a locals and try to go at least once a week and do some online testing. But as you guys can see, I didn't play Mech Knights. Johnny did, and you know he didn't have a great tournament experience either, but I played Altergeist. I played Altergeist because, honestly, I love this deck, and a lot of you may not know this. Like Doug, I'm a huge fan of this deck. I've watched pretty much all his deck profiles, and I got a lot of inspiration from his lists and the success he's had with the deck. And I've just honestly had this deck on the side for a really long time. You guys have seen me profile it here on my brother Sam's channel and other places. And it was just a deck I went with. I chose it because I felt like it doesn't really have bad matchups, and I say that because if you're accounting for the fact that your opponent is maining Twin Twisters, then yeah, you know, you have to play around Twin Twister, you have to be careful, and you need to not be super aggressive with the deck. You need to be more passive, and you need to be able to make your opponent play at your own pace. Also, I like this deck a lot because I feel like it can, you know, it can just slowly outgrind your opponent, and the traps are just really strong. So that's why I played it. We'll get into it. It's pretty standard. I know I took a while doing my little intro, but you guys will know. I just want to explain everything when it comes to this list, and just the YCS overall was amazing. I had a great time as always. All the live deck profiles are up, as you know. It was awesome seeing Simon He again, and you know that interview is up there as well. So I hope you guys will check that out. But let's show you guys the deck I played. I went X3. What else can I say? I don't know. You know, my time will come, but I chose this deck, and I'm glad I did. So very standard stuff. 3 Marionetter, 3 Multi-Faker, 3 Mullaseek, 2 Silicoides, and the 1 Konkiri. Those are all the Altergeist monsters. So, not really a lot to explain. I absolutely love Mullaseek. I think it's sending cards to the grave is amazing. One of the best removal cards in the game right now. I think that it, you know, it's just really, I think a lot of people underestimate this deck, and that's another reason I played it. A lot of people expected me to keep playing Mech Knights or to play Sky Strikers, and I'm not playing Sky Strikers. I was either going to play this or Thunder Dragons. I chose this deck because this deck, like, shits on Thunder Dragons. I played 2 Thunder Dragons in Swiss, and I just destroyed them, like, nothing against my opponents. They played perfectly. Like, they played perfectly, but this deck just, you know, coherently just has an amazing, you know, just matchup against that. And I mean, it has good matchups across the board, so I like that. A Faker is insane. You guys already know. Permanence Faker, any trap Faker is nuts. And believe it or not, though, Marionetter has slowly become my favorite Altergeist. The reason being is because its ability to recur monsters, like your ability to bring back your copies of Multi-Faker and then trigger Multi-Faker, your ability to bring out Mullaseek, swap out for Link Karibo, you know, and do stuff like that, get searches is nuts. I think this card is probably the strongest card in the deck. And I also do play Village, so I loved opening Marionetter with Village. Silicoides, I lost a couple games where I opened both. It happens. Like, it happens. I banished one off Desires, opened the other one. But I still played some games where I just had it and I protected it, and then I would actually combo these 2 cards. This is the reason I played Konkiri. A lot of people don't like Konkiri. I know Hunter Lloyd, who we profiled, who went undefeated in Swiss, didn't play the card. I understand why. This card, yes, by itself does nothing, but overall, I really like this card. I feel that it is a card you have to play at certain times, and I know people will disagree, but I love the fact that you can just block an attack, you know, stun a monster, and you know, this is a loop, you guys. Like, this is just a loop. Just bounce, save, bounce, save, bounce, save. Like, it's so strong. Like, I really like this card. So those are the standard Altergeist monsters. Nothing I would change in there. There's nothing really you can change, nothing you can really add. Those are the best Altergeist monsters. Then my hand traps were just simple, just 3 Ash and 3 impermanents. So this is very, very standard. There's not much to say. Like, the FTK is a thing. Believe it or not, I didn't play any FTKs, but these cards are just good. Ash hits a lot of cards. Impermanence just hits a lot of cards. And, I mean, granted, you know, these aren't the best hand traps against the FTK, but I actually didn't think I was going to play that much FTK. I actually sided heavily for it, and that probably was a mistake. I could have used way better side deck cards, but we'll get into it when we get to the side deck. But yeah, these were good all day. Never dead. These cards were nuts. Sometimes I stun some back row if I set this card. But yeah, I really like this. I got Impermanence Faker off twice, so yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's pretty sweet. So, and Ash, like I said, is just really good. I didn't play Bell. I actually don't own Bells. I could have gotten them, but I didn't really test with Bell. And in Altergeist, I really don't want to play that many hand traps. I want to see my Altergeist monsters. I want to get my combos going. I look at Altergeist like they're basically just a bunch of negates, and that's what hand traps basically do. They negate or stun the opponent. So basically, by playing Altergeist, you're playing a deck that, you know, just stuns the opponent, says no to the opponent, and you don't have to bog your deck down with hand traps and then not see your monsters. So that was another reason I played the deck. Then spells, I only played 4. I played 2 Desires and just 2 copies of Secret Village. I didn't play 3 Village. I'm playing 1 copy of Metaverse in the deck, and that's the 3rd copy of this. Shout out to my good friend Pete Navarro. You know, he stayed with us in our hotel and everything for the last 2 events, and he also played this deck with me. We played the exact same main deck. I absolutely loved the fact that we cut 1 Village for Metaverse, because I noticed in testing, as much as I wanted to see Village, sometimes I draw multiple copies and it would suck. So instead of that, I decided to play 1 Metaverse. And by playing 1 Metaverse, I could turn the Village on when I needed to, trigger a Multi-Faker, which is like a blowout because you have a Village on board, a Multi-Faker on board, a Silicoitus on board. The opponent just can't play. And it made it to where I just wasn't drawing too many spell cards. So this was actually the perfect spell lineup. The only card I didn't play was 1 for 1. I go back and forth on if I want to play that card, but I honestly don't want to get blown out by Ash, because it's like when Spirals get blown out by Ash on 1 for 1. So that was the reason behind that. And the rest of the deck is just traps. So you guys already saw my impermanence, but the rest of the traps were 3 strike. This card was good all day. I play all the 5 Solemns. I would not play the deck without all 5 Solemns. They are all insane in their own right. I struck so many cards, so many Kagaris. I only lost to 1 Sky Striker Game 3, Round 2, and that was good against my teammate and good friend Tristan. We had an amazing match. I bricked to shit the last game, though. I opened like 4 monsters in a spell. Like, it was terrible. But anyways, like, this card was just nuts, though, against all the matches I played. It was so good against Thunder Dragons. It's like, okay, cool. Do your thing, do your thing. Okay, Colossus, okay, strike, bye. My turn. So strike was insane. 3 spoofing. This getting ashed really hurts, but, you know, you have to play it. This is like one of the best cards in the deck. Like, you have to play it. One of the cards that was surprisingly better than I thought was the 3 main decked Mind Crush. Now, I went back and forth on what cards I wanted to play in this deck. Mind Crush was there, and I like tested with it. I liked it at first. Then I realized, man, this card kind of sucks going second. But then I talked more to people and realized, okay, maybe this card isn't as bad as I thought going second, because against Striker, since the deck is not fast, like when they have the double engage and you can Mind Crush the double engage, it's insane. I also Mind Crushed Evenly Match. So that was really good. Believe it or not, I don't think I'd cut this card anymore. Like, Evenly Match really hurts, and being able to Mind Crush it away is nuts. But I also learned this weekend how to properly play around Evenly Matched. And even when I get hit, when I have like 4 cards, I just think theoretically what cards I want to keep, because for some reason I kept getting hit with a set Evenly Matched, so they'd have like that and 1 other card, so I'd keep 2 cards, and I was like, that's fine. Like, I lose maybe 2 cards, keep 2 cards, just keep the most impactful cards. But yeah, Mind Crush is really good. So one thing though I would say is, if I didn't play Mind Crush, I thought about playing the Trap Trick Engine, and that's something that I might play going forward. I know Hunter cited it. It was something I thought about maining. I saw a list that it mained it, and Pete and I talked about this, about playing like Trap Trick in the main deck and then playing cards like Reckless Greed, and we already have like other trap cards that we could play, maybe up the count of manifestations and stuff, just so that we could banish it, you know, to use it whenever we need. But yeah, Mind Crush was good. If this card isn't in my main deck, it'll be on my side. This it's really good going first. other traps, 2 copies of Storm Duster. This card was insane. I drew it against some, against Thunder Dragons and stuff when I didn't want it, but I mean, it was there as another trap, and it was like a blowout against like Strikers. So this card was nuts. This plus Faker is game. This is also really good if you play the Trap Trick engine. Like, you could actually play like 3 copies of this. Altergeist traps, I played 2 Protocol, 1 Manifestation. I've kept this ratio for a really long time. I am thinking about playing a second Manifestation, especially if I go the Trap Trick route just to have an extra copy. I do really not like when I banish this off of Desires, but Desires is just such a good card that, you learn to compensate with all the other cards for it. And Protocol was actually my MVP all weekend. In the beginning, when I first started playing this deck, I really didn't utilize this negating effect, and I'll tell you right now, I negated more Rays and Grave than I can count. I played 3 Strikers. One of them was Tristan. One was actually my friend Craig, and then I played one other person round 9. And I protocoled so many Rays, like, it was insane. Like, protocoling Ray is game, because I don't care if they Widow Anchor and take my stuff. Like, they're not going to get past all my traps. If I have Kinkiri, they're not going to do any damage. I'm going to get my monster back. You link away with it. It's whatever. Just negating Ray with protocol was nuts, and just other monsters was good too. So, and Manifestation was good because, it's new ruling. Well, it's not new anymore, but the ruling, being able to bounce it with Silk is nuts. Being able to spin it away with spoofing and still get your monster is nuts. And just other one-ofs. Warning, Judgment, Order, and the 1 Metaverse. I already said the 1 Metaverse took the spot of the 3rd Village. This was good. Easy side out too if it wasn't that great going 2nd, obviously. But this way I didn't clump my deck with too many copies of Village. Order is Order. I stole a lot of games with this. I won game 1 against Tristan literally because I opened this. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I wouldn't have won that game if it wasn't for that card. And drawing a monster like 3 turns later and almost dying because of it. Judgment was nuts. I judgmented a lot of things. And yeah, God says no. This card is nuts. And I actually warning to Denko in Thunder Dragons. Yeah, I'm a lucky SOB. Like, I literally opened it. Boom. Denko on 3. Warning. No, not today. So that was it for the main deck. It was 40 cards. Very, very standard, you guys. On to the... What is it? On to the extra deck. So the extra deck, you guys already know when it comes to Altergeist, we never really use the extra deck that much, but I'll talk about the cards I made. So first and foremost, the 3 Hextia. This is the main card you make. 3 comes up. Now, I would never play less than 3. This card's really good. You do a lot of plays where you just have a Hextia and a Marionetter that's 31 and 16. And I mean, a lot of times you can make double Hextia and then have a Marionetter next to it, and that's like damn near game. Like, this card is really good. Its floating effect is good. Its negation effect is good. Just more negates. It's just really, really solid. The 1 Prim Banshee, never made it, but it's the out to Ultimate Falcon. 1 Link Karibo, made this card a lot. You guys already know what the Mullaseek. It got Ash like once, but it was whatever. This actually got belled, which was weird. He belled my my Link Karibo Engrave, so it just stayed there, and I was like, all right. And then I had to send the Mullaseek as cost, and I still searched, so I was like, okay, cool. I guess. 1 Clara. I didn't make it, but you need it for Village. You also need it if you have to play around Rivalry or anything like that, just to keep Village up, because it's a spellcaster. Nightmares, I played Cerebus, Phoenix, Unicorn. I made Phoenix and Unicorn. I didn't make Cerebus. I put it in there over Wee Witch's Apprentice. I mean, either way, I don't think I would have made that card either. So I guess this is the right card to play. Question mark. I don't really know. You don't really make these cards that much, but, they're there. 1 Ningirsu. I mean, the card's fine. I want it in my deck just because it's another out to borrow load. You have these weird situations where it might come up, so I wanted it in there. I wanted utility cards. And then I always have to play both, and I play both because if the scenario comes up, I don't want to be without Borreload Dragon, because you out Borreload with Borreload, and so many decks can't get around this card, and then Borrelsword just steals games if we get the option. This extra deck is really open, so that was the main reason. Then my cherry targets, I played 1 Firewall. This is not for Goki. That is actually incorrect to cherries this. If you cherries this, you're going to get Gunblard for 4, so don't cherries that card. You'll probably lose, so... 1 Firewall for the, for the FTK. 1 Gumblar for the Goki deck, because I don't want to lose my whole hand. Like, Altergeist can play against Goki when we don't care about the extra link because we don't really go into our extra deck. We care about clearing the extra link, and all our traps can do that. And if we get rid of Gumblar, we keep our hand. So self-explanatory. And I think it's better than Isolde because you can hit Isolde and they can still Gumblar you. Like the whole point is they can still Gumblar you, and if you lose your hand, you lose the game. So I just wanted to hit Gumblar. And then I played Dante. I thought with all the Europeans that were coming over, I was gonna see more Burning Abyss. I thought I played against a Burning Abyss deck, and it wasn't Burning Abyss, but I had it there just in case. I don't know if I'd play this again. I think I have a good matchup against it anyway. The card I wanted to play was Chimera Tech Fortress for Cyber Dragons. So yeah, going forward, I'd probably change it to that or another link that might come up every 20 games. And then just onto my side deck, you guys. Best card in my side deck is Inspector Border. This card is absolutely insane. This card is auto win against Thunder Dragons. This card is like auto win in the mirror. This card is really, really solid against Thunder Dragons. Like they just kept setting cards. Like they couldn't get around this card. And yeah, they can instant fusion and, do, these like weird plays, but it didn't matter. This card was the absolute nuts. Like, I think the best out to this is probably to play Parancatops, but even then, this card just puts in so much work. So, Border is an MVP. I feel it's a side deck staple. And then I sided heavily for the FTK because I don't want to get FTK'd, so I played 3 Cherries, 3 Droll. This deck can play hand traps quite easily. These were just the best ones against the FTK. I oversided for the FTK, didn't even play it in Swiss, but I wanted to be prepared. I mean, this loops against... these cards are also good against Goki. I mean, I sided this in against Striker. That was probably a mistake, but I mean, a couple games it worked because it stopped them after they engaged, so I don't think I probably sided against Striker again, but these are good against, like I said, the FTK and Goki, so I wanted them. And I mean, this is good against Trickstar too, like random Trickstars, so... self-explanatory until, the format changes. Then probably one of my favorite cards on the side deck was the 3 copies of Prankatops. So Denny told me not to play this, and I didn't listen to him, and I'm sorry, Denny. For some reason, this card was insane for me. Like, it really, really was insane, and I say that because this card, like, against Strikers is actually low-key broken. So what ended up happening is I would go Prankatops, and then I'd go, what's that one? Oh, then I'd go Marionetter, and, I'd punch over the link. They'd bring out the Ray. I'd try to hit over that. They do whatever. Tag out again, then pop that with that. They can't Ray float again, and then Ray is gone. My whole goal against Sky Strikers, especially when I had Village, was just to eliminate Ray. Once Ray was eliminated, the game was usually over. Like, they had very few ways to get around Village and, like, big monsters. And also I just kept this monster on the field because 2600 is huge, so... yeah, Prankatops was definitely one of the MVPs in my side deck. I probably play it again. And then the last card that would have been for Goki if I played it, probably one of the best cards for Altergeist because you want them to play at your pace is Summon Limit. If you think of all the other cards, there can only be one. There's Rivalry, there's Gozen. We obviously can't play Gozen. We die to Gozen. I thought about Rivalry. Maybe Rivalry is better for the fact that... I mean, honestly, I don't think so because... you put Rivalry up, they get Warriors, and it's the same thing. You use it against BA, it's the same thing. They're always going to get like 2 monsters. But what I like about this is that this checks the field, and then once they do their 2 summons, they just stop, and their deck cannot play. They can't go into a Zol. They can't do anything except just have those 2 monsters. And if I eliminate those 2 monsters, and I mean, I'm playing almost like a 1v1 deck a lot of times, they really can't do anything. And like, honestly, you have Border in this. Like, I don't see how they win, so... yeah, so that was it, you guys. That was my YCS Pasadena deck. I played Altergeist, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I would probably continue to play this deck. I do have Thunder Dragons. You guys know I've had Thunder Dragons for a while. I haven't profiled it because, honestly, I don't have a build I like. Honestly, I would say the best build of Thunder Dragons that I would want to play is like Blair's list, him and Kamal's list, the Dino Thunder, just because, I don't know, there's something about that deck that just seems better to me than like pure. I mean, if I had the prize card, I think I would, obviously want to play the Chaos build, but yeah, overall, I really liked Altergeist. I enjoyed my tournament. I had some weird losses. Outside of my game with Tristan, my other 2 losses were they were my own fault, but it is what it is. I'll get there one day. I was confident with this deck, but I do admit that not preparing, not testing enough is my own fault. I need to test more and try to find time, even with school, to you know, be more familiar with my matches. But I mean, I feel I played well considering. I mean, I beat pretty much all the meta decks I played. Losing to Tristan is it doesn't matter to me. Like, he's a really good player. He's a lot better than I am, and you know, the fact that we at least made it to game 3 made me happy because I at least didn't want to get blown out, and I didn't get blown out, so it was good. But overall, I really like this deck. I think you guys should definitely, you know, be prepared for Altergeist and stuff like that. Oh, and I know there's gonna be one question: why is there no evenly matched in my deck? Everyone told me not to play that card. They told me, what am I siding it for? Tried to tell them. They said the card sucked. Honestly, I wish I had it a couple times, but I still beat my striker matches without it, so I don't know, but I still think it's broken because that plus Faker is game, so don't give me hate for not playing evenly match. I personally wanted to play it, but I listened to a couple of my friends and chose not to play it, but I'd probably, if I were to play it, I mean, I might cut cherries. I don't honestly know. I need to, you know, test this deck more, and we're going to have a new format soon, hopefully with a new list, so I'll definitely have a better idea. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Let's try to get at least 50 plus likes on this deck profile. Since I didn't play Mech Knights, I decided to play something else, and I like playing other decks because it shows that I have the versatility to play other decks in the format, and I'm not going to play FTK decks, so don't even ask. So yeah, anyways, I enjoyed the deck. Let me know your thoughts and any suggestions to make the deck better in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.